What's up, guys? I figured it's been a long time since I've given you any update on this car. I wanted to do a better job of documenting my progress through the build, but apparently I suck at that. I don't know if I'll take full blame though. It's kind of one of those life things. I only have a certain amount of time to work on this thing during the week after work, and maybe a day on the weekend. This hasn't been a real priority lately, but I know in my first video I mentioned that one of the incentives of this was to not have a timeline. Well, I found out very shortly after that we were going to be moving in what I thought was November, but turns out the end of October. So that's taken kind of a toll on this build. I really wanted to get this car done and kind of be the last car that I get to build in this awesome shop that my friend Trayton has been so generous enough to let me use while living in his house. So yeah, so I kind of give you guys a rundown of each thing that I've done the best I can in a timely manner, and maybe the next video will be the car running and driving. Well, I guess we'll start here with the front suspension because I think that's where I left off with taking this car apart. What I ended up doing was using SN95 front lower control arms. Copied a picture off the internet of them clearancing them for the outer tie rod or bump steer kit. Then I used factory Fox body knuckles, cut them, shortened them, modified them for drifting. I think we made just over double of stock steering angle, which I'm pretty happy with. I kind of had high hopes, low expectations for this since I've never done it before, but I did do my research, asked some questions before I kind of welded them all back together. For the coilovers, I used 5A Industries coilovers. They're kind of ballpark, middle of the ballpark price range. With having to move so soon, I kind of had to budget things a little bit differently than I would like to. Another one of the things that I shortcutted on was these 4x5 adapters. But I really wanted to put these wheels on there and see what they look like. Once we move and we get a new garage or shop, hopefully, I'll be able to start working on this car again and go the long way around the corners that I cut to get the car to where it is now. But overall, I'm pretty happy with it. This front is about even with the fender, but the rear with the 8.8 already being wider, plus the adapter kind of pokes a little bit, but I'm not too worried about it. It still looks cool. So that pretty much covers the front suspension. Also it's coil spring in the rear for their kit, which I'm okay with. But yeah, let's move on to the next part. So for the steering shaft, we'll start with the interior. With the steering, I ended up using the stock rack, and I mounted this Heim joint off our roll cage. The dampener, or whatever you want to call it, bushing, around there, right there. I deleted that and just mounted it, or bolted it straight to the rack for better steering feel. Plus that bushing, like I said, was completely gone. Actually, it was broken when I was moving the car around. It had like half of a turn of play. I kind of figured something was wrong. I ended up picking up this Bride Lomax from my friend Braden for a super good deal. Shout out Braden. Made my own mounts to mount it into the car exactly where I wanted it. I can still see over the dash. I'll get on to that dash here in a minute because I'm super stoked on that. I can still see over the dash, but I still sit pretty low in the car, so it feels pretty cool sitting in there. The dash is a Nissan S14 dash that I picked up for $40. Super stoked on that. I wanted it kind of fits with the theme of the car that I wanted to do, so really happy about that. The Hydro e-brake I got from Drift HQ on their yard sale section, whatever it's called. Super cheap. It was only $60, I believe. I ran the lines myself. It's just an inline. I don't have dual caliper. Another one of the things that I'll hopefully do later. But that's been a whole process with these brakes because I was trying to use the stock brake master cylinder and brake booster. Come to find out, drum brakes from factory required like 10 psi of residual pressure after you let off the brake to keep the wheel cylinders open. Something to do with the wheel cylinder. So I did order an aftermarket master cylinder and brake booster delete kit that will be here hopefully the beginning of the week. I should be posting this on Sunday. Once we get that, then we can get the brakes really dialed in. Like, the car still rolls and everything, not very easily, but you can tell that the brakes are still applied from that residual pressure. So really, really excited to get past that part of this project, because it took so much trial and error and internet research and ChatGPT searches to figure this out. So yeah, moving on, we got the battery. Pretty pumped on the battery. Here, let's go over to this side of the car. Budget's so low. I got a Costco battery. That tie down is actually a go-kart tie rod. Just happened to have that laying around and seems to work just fine. So yeah, we got our gauges hooked up, just water temp and oil pressure. I got my switch gauge in there, good enough. Yeah, the pedals all work. I'm not even gonna try to show you, but I had to adjust replace the clutch cable and clutch cable wheel, I guess you would call it, the part that attaches to the pedal. I opted to go to the aluminum one. This also has an adjustable throttle cable because it's still cable clutch, but this gives you a whole bunch of range of adjustment for the pedal. Let's see here, the engine. Yeah, not the final destination, but it's gonna be fun. It's gonna sound cool, and it's nostalgic for me because it's my Circle Track engine. We're so close to firing that up. Ignore the rat's nest of spark plug wires. Got to find my zip ties and I'll tidy all that up. But here's the real freaking thing I'm stoked about. Is I found this alternator bracket, and my friend Corey Ray sold me this mini alternator off like skid steer or something. It just so happened to work with the factory mount, so stoked on that. I just have to figure out which pin I need off the alternator, run it to here, run it to the battery. I'll have a working alternator. I did turn ignition on, and I did see our MSD Circle Track RPM control box does light up. Did allow me to set it to the RPM that I wanted. So hopefully that doesn't give us any headaches on the first fire up. But this radiator is from like a Toyota Celica. Also, shout out Braden, sold me that on a good deal. But let's see, coming to the back of the car. This is kind of the stuff I did today. I did already hide it, but I took the stock bumper off, laying over there. Created my own like tube bumper, real simple, saved some weight. Dropped the stock gas tank. I kind of cut that belly section out of the floor of the spare tire area so it could be flat. And I replaced it with some sheet metal there. Fuel cell should be in the mail tomorrow or the next day. I can get that all hooked up before my friend Reeson comes over and we fire this freaking bad boy up. I'm fired up. Sorry, forgot to shout out my one single fan that I know is not going to work. But unfortunately, I went to go install the other one and the solder came apart and I don't have the soldering iron to put this back on. I'm super impatient, so we're going to run the single fan for now. Add that to the list of things to button up once we get my feet on the ground. But another cool thing, I'm going to keep the stock headlights. So I got the wires pulled out. I got to use my power probe and figure out which ones I need. But I'm going to wire the headlights and the taillights to a switch so it will still have working lights. I kind of want to keep this thing as like street car as possible, but still have like race car feeling interior. You know, I think it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I think that's going to be it for this video. I know I jibber-jabbered a lot, but I didn't know how else to do this, catch you guys all back up in a short amount of time. But hopefully the next video, like I said in the beginning, we'll be running and driving. We'll take this thing down the road and then take it to a storage unit somewhere for a month until we move. So hope you guys enjoyed this little update. I know I suck at this, but I made a promise to myself that I would make these videos. So here's part 2. Look forward to hearing your comments. Anything you want to say hi to me on my comments, do it. I'll say hi back. But you guys, catch you later. Peace out.